Welcome to America's Top Rebbetzins. May this class be for Refuah Shalema, for Yaakov David Nesanel ben Sarah Hannah, and also for Rivka Bat Devorah. Please click on the subscribe button to subscribe to us on the America's Top Rebbetzins YouTube page, or click follow to follow us on your podcasting app so that you are the first to know when an inspiring new episode is posted. I am very happy to have on today's show Haya Mink-Benchemhoun. Haya hosts an incredible Torah class on Zoom every Wednesday evening, and these classes are designed to educate Jewish women in the light of Hasidus. Haya's classes are truly inspiring, and they really leave you with practical nuggets of wisdom that you can really put into practice in your own life. And I can tell you this from personal experience because I have attended Haya's classes and they are amazing. Haya, your classes are really, really wonderful. And I want to see if you could please tell us more about yourself and what you do.
Of course. Thank you for having me today. I'm very honored that I was asked to be here. My class is, I'll just share with you how it started and a little bit about it. It's a weekly Zoom class that was started right before COVID. It was my birthday, and I went to the resting place of the Lubavitcher Rebbe, to the Ohel, to ask for a blessing. It's something that I do yearly. I go. A tzaddik is someone that can really beseech on our part with God. And on the video screen on the way out, the Rebbe was speaking, a video from when he was alive. He was speaking about the importance of a birthday and the importance of hosting a farbrengen. A farbrengen is a gathering, a Hasidic gathering to inspire others and friends, and it's like a birthday party. So I said, okay, I never did this before with friends, but if I do it, it has to be done right. It's going to be over the top. I was living in Brooklyn Heights at the time, so I went to the Rebbetzin Shtarni Roskin, and I asked her if she would be okay if I host it in the shul in Bnei Avraham. And she said, of course. And we did. We brought down a speaker, Shandy Jacobson, and the ladies loved it. They all came to me and they said, this was one of the best events we've ever been to. And I was like, how can that be? You guys have the best events here, parties, fun. And then I realized woman talking to woman, it's usually the rabbi. So I said, next year, I'm going to do this again. But next year, COVID hit and I couldn't do it. However, the Zoom world came about, which was great. And I contacted my aunt, Rebbetzin Chani Lipsker, and she spoke about the importance of a Jewish birthday. And it was great. Then I had an idea, like a light bulb went in my head, that I would love to do a 4-week series on Purim. And again, we had a couple of ladies and they loved it. So we started with another series of healing and addiction with my cousin, who's an addiction coach, Devorah Leandruzier. And it was amazing. And that's how it started, with the help of some people and the inspiration of people, because I was never a speaker, never thought I would be in the spotlight. And I'm very grateful. It's really important to recognize the people that helped you, for all the people that helped me kickstart the class, hold my hand through it. And it was really an incredible journey. And we do it. It's almost 2 years. We've been doing it every single Wednesday on Zoom.
That's beautiful. And you have a lot of attendees, like a lot of people come to your classes?
Yeah, we have live. We've had 176 live, some weeks 135,
Amazing.
70, 80. But then we have people around the world now waiting for the recordings, and they do that I send out a broadcast and they get the recording the next morning, and people are hooked. One lady told me from Brooklyn Heights that it's the Jewish CNN out there.
I love it. The Jewish CNN. It's amazing. It's amazing. So people can really come to your class live. And then if they miss it, they're not able to make it live, then you send out a recording. So either way, they're able to get the Torah that you share.
Right.
Okay. And I know that you have a really great story from somebody who had listened to one of your classes. Can you please share it?
Yeah. I also want to just say that we have the most amazing guest speakers, and I'm so grateful to everyone that comes on, and God guides me every week who to ask. So we had actually Vera last week, which was incredible. Thank you for being on our class.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
Sometimes we wait till we go upstairs at 120 and we only see the effects of what we do. And I'm so grateful to Hashem, to God, for showing me some of the benefits of this class, because a lot of work goes behind the scenes. It's not a paying job. I don't make any money from it, but it takes a lot of time to put it together with all the little tidbits, the flyer, the speakers, coordinating the times, marketing. I became a really good marketer. Just a lot of stuff goes into it. And we did a series on Yom Kippur last year. And it was actually a fabulous, fabulous story how it came about. So I'll share with you how the Yom Kippur inspiration came about, who to get. One of the speakers' husbands was in the hospital from COVID. And I said, would you talk? And she said, I just have so much on my plate right now. I said, what if I make sure your husband comes home out of the hospital? She's like, how are you going to do that? I said, I'm going to do this. So I had someone in my life who wasn't keeping Shabbat at the time. And I went over to her and I said, I need a favor from you. I need you to do something really big for me. She's like, what is it? I'm like, I need you to keep Shabbos 100%. She's like, what? I said, yes, no turning on lights, no cell phones, nothing, no transportation, no going into Ubers. I need you to do this for me. I need to get someone out of the hospital. And I fully believe that you can do this. And I kind of didn't give her a choice because this wasn't about me and it wasn't about her. It was about getting this person out of the hospital. And he was very sick. And she said, okay. And after Shabbat, she said, I kept it 110%.
Wow.
Sure enough, the speaker called me and said, he's coming home from the hospital. I felt that her going out of her comfort zone of doing the mitzvah of keeping Shabbat really helped. For a stranger, she didn't know who he was, really helped. And Erev Yom Kippur, she came back from doing kaparis, which is a ritual where you swing the chickens over your head to ask for forgiveness. She's a very, very busy person. She did the class. Her and someone else. It was over the top amazing. After the class, I got a phone call from somebody, someone that's friends with my husband. His wife's friends with my husband. Her husband's friends with my husband, and his wife called me and she goes, I need to talk to you. I'm so inspired. After the class, and she was crying. After the class, she told me that, like, after Yom Kippur, she said, I just want you to know, I just went to shul for the first time since I'm married to the shul. And I felt God because she got so inspired of how we brought it down and the examples and the stories. We always try to bring in a lot of inspiration and light to people's lives. And I literally was just like, wow, this is incredible that I got to see this in my life when I'm actually here, not afterlife. It was really amazing. We kept going and she kept coming on every single week. And she said, this is the best thing that ever happened to me. I love it. I love this. I want to kosher my home. I want to take my kids out of public school. So I said, you gotta just do it slow. Okay. Don't rush into anything, but keep coming onto the class. And she did. And we had a class on mikvah. And after the class, she called me up and she was crying again. And she goes, I think I'm going to go to mikvah. And she never went to mikvah before. Like, even before she got married, she didn't go to the mikvah. She's married for 14 years, has children. Wow. And mikvah is the only, the mitzvah of family purity. It's the only mitzvah that you can retract. Like, if you don't do a mitzvah, if you forget to say Shema or any blessings or keep Shabbat, you can't retract it. You can go forward, but you can't go backwards. Mikvah is the only mitzvah, the only thing that you can retract. So she went to the mikvah. She told me she really cried a lot, and all her children reaped the benefits of going to the mikvah for all those 14 years. And I literally got the chills and I said, all right, I'm going to be doing this every single week. It doesn't matter where I am in my life. And I kept my word, and it's consistent and it's great and wonderful. And it's an amazing class. We have many, many more stories from ladies who told me, please never stop doing this class. This is so good for my neshama, for my soul. I'm not religious today, but I look forward to this every single week. And I'm like, all right, I'm in this for life, I guess. So yeah, that's a little tidbit about the class.
That's so amazing that people can be so inspired, by just sharing stories from each other, from each other's lives. We can inspire others. It's so amazing how we can touch each other's hearts. And the fact also, I want to underscore that the fact that this woman, she never went to the mikvah before. It's not like she grew up religious from birth. She went to the mikvah.
She actually did grow up religious from birth,
Oh,
but
I'm
she
sorry. Okay.
she chose not to live that kind of lifestyle anymore. Like,
Ah,
I mean, nothing. And she was happy, but she really wasn't. And now she's really searching and excited and really, really looking forward to keeping the mitzvahs.
that's amazing that she came back after not doing the mitzvahs for so long, and she was able to come back. So that just shows, just because you have, maybe you kept the mitzvahs when you were younger, then you stopped, or even if you never kept the mitzvahs when you were younger, it's never too late to start. Like, it really, really is never too late to start. I think it's amazing, and it gives so much hope and so much encouragement to people out there, because people could be thinking, oh, I never did it before, or maybe, yeah, I did it, but it was so long ago and I haven't done it in so long. It's not going to do me any good to do it now. But it's really not true. Like the example that you just gave, it's really not true. You can start keeping the mitzvahs again, or you could start keeping the mitzvahs for the first time at any point in your life. So it's really, really fantastic.
Yeah.
And you once told me that you want to be the reason that someone smiles today. And that really, really stuck with me. If we can uplift someone, even if it's just for a short amount of time, all our efforts to do that are worth it. And if we can ignite one soul to be kinder to others, to feel less pain, to know that they are loved, to grow closer to God, then we are living a worthwhile life. And you really inspire me and all those who tune into your classes every week. And when we share true stories of inspiration, we can touch the heart of another person and give them real strength to realize their own greatness. And that's really what our podcast is about today. It's about inspiration. It's about inspiring every person. You don't need to be you don't need to be a Rebbetzin to inspire a person. You don't need to be a rabbi. You don't need to have a great title or many degrees. You could be just a regular, ordinary person and really, truly make a difference in the lives of others. And you have so many riveting stories of divine inspiration to share. I know that you shared a few of them. I would love to hear a few more.
Sure. So I always start off my class with tzedakah, charity. And I say, how we give, that's how God's gonna give to us. So please give generously so God can give us generously. I actually experienced Be the Reason Why Someone Smiles myself. A girlfriend of mine, my best friend, passed away. Chana Bas Aaron Leib. Her neshama should have the highest aliyah up there.
Amazing.
I hope she's proud.
Amazing.
And one day I was walking down the parkway where I was living, and I was really sad. And my head was down. And this girl that I went to school with perks up and she's like, "Hey, Chaya," and gave me the biggest smile. And it really changed my whole day. And I was like, wow, a smile could really do so much. And that story really, really stuck with me. You don't have to do a lot to be the reason why someone smiles, but like when an opportunity comes, you can just smile at someone and you don't know what they're going through that day. And that little smile did so much for me because I was really grieving my friend and it was really special. So I like to end off my class, Wednesday night's class, with Be the Reason Someone Smiles Today. And it's something that I took up on, and I actually inspire others to take it on. I have a bunch of girls that have notebooks with Be the Reason Someone Smiles, my old students. It's really, really special. So I'm going to share with you some stories, if you'd like, of examples of how I saw that the effect of being the reason someone smiles today.
Yes.
Sometimes when we have a thought that comes into our mind, it's for a reason. It's not our thoughts. God is putting thoughts into our mind, and we have the choice to act on it or just ignore it. So I had a very, very strong feeling to send a girlfriend of mine who was living out of town, a breakfast brunch. So I reached out to my other friends and I said, would you like to be part of this? And the only reason why I did that was because when you get something from one person, it's nice. But when you get something from a couple of people, they all thought of me. That's so special.
Yes.
But it wasn't going well that day. It was in COVID and it was right before the holiday of Pesach. And the restaurants weren't picking up their phone. And if they did, they're like, hold on a moment, and put me on hold for like 20 minutes. And then once I got through, they hung up on me. So it was really frustrating. I almost let go and said, I'm not doing this. And she won't know anyways, because it's not like I told her I'm doing this. And then I'm like, no, Chaya, you have to try. Keep trying. Called cousins that live out of town. Are you around the area? It was Arab Pesach. Nobody was able to do anything for me. And then I'm like, hold on. There's Uber Eats. I'm going to Uber eat her food. So I put in the order, quickly made it happen, and sent it with a little note. I get a phone call a couple hours later, and she was on the other line, and she was very moved. And she goes, I want to tell you something. Her mother has just passed away. And she said, my mom usually like puts money into my account. Like she was having a hard time at the time. And her dad was at the time in COVID, and he was unfortunately not well. And she goes, I didn't know how I was going to feed my kids today. I didn't know where the food was going to come from. I was just going to like throw something together. And then this meal comes to my house, not just a meal, but an over the top meal. And it warmed my heart. And I was like, I was just silent on the other line. And I said, wow, imagine I didn't do it.
Right.
And it was such a learning experience for me. And I said, hi, anytime you get anything in your head, act on it, make it happen, because you never know who needs that pick me up that day. So that's one of the stories that happened. And I was again lucky that I got to see how far it went.
That's so
There was
beautiful.
another,
I love that. I really, really love that because you didn't know that she really, really, really needed the meal,
I
and she
had
was
no idea.
right. And she didn't tell you, had no clue, but you did it and you made such a difference. And I just want to underscore this because,
It was also the peak
yeah,
of COVID. No one was going out,
right.
transportation, like it was really hard for her to go and just get food from the store.
Yes.
It wasn't as simple as it is today.
Right. And it's for sure. And you did that. And, this also points out the fact that we don't always know who's struggling. We could see somebody on the street, they could be totally fine. Hello, how are you? Just normal, but they could really, really be suffering inside. And it doesn't necessarily show on the outside. So quite often when we do a mitzvah, when we show somebody else kindness, when we do a good deed, for them, it could really mean more than you originally think it would mean. Like you were just sending a meal, you want to be nice, you want to reach out, you want to be friendly, but it ended up being so much more meaningful than that to the recipient. And that's what I want to, people to understand, that just because people look fine on the outside, they may not be on the inside. So just you reaching out and doing just a simple gesture, it could be sending a meal, it could be offering to pick somebody's kids up from school. If you're in the grocery store, you could pick up, groceries for them, or dry cleaning, or run an errand for them if you just happen to be in the area. And that could mean so much more, just so much more than the actual physical errand itself. It can really show people that you care about them and that you want good for them. So it's just, I love that story. It's amazing.
And you know what they say? We come down to in this world just to do a favor for another. And we don't know which favor it is.
Exactly.
70, 80 years, hopefully longer, 120. And who knows if that was my favor? I don't know. And if we miss an opportunity, we don't usually get it back. Someone else will take it.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's beautiful. And then this reminds me of I'm looking at your necklace. It's so beautiful. You have a heart necklace that you're wearing. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
I know it has a special story behind that. Would you be able to share that with us, please?
Sure. Okay. So again, I like to always try to say be the yes man. I've been hosting RCCS events for many, many years. I even created a auction within an auction, got local store owners to give things. It was People loved it, came, but then COVID hit and it wasn't the time to host. And I'm like, I'm just tired. I'm tired. I don't want to be the yes man anymore. I want to take a break. It's hard. And I told my husband I'm not doing it this year. And he goes, just do it. And I'm like, I really don't want to. But he was a little bit like, just try. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm not doing anything extra. So they made me a page, they made me an amount, and I sent it out. Beautiful note, and I sent it out. Sure and behold, I raised close to $6,000
Amazing.
within 24 hours.
Wow.
And I wasn't even on my phone, but one Saturday night, I got a bunch of messages like, congratulations on the win, congratulations on the win. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Apparently there was a hostess gift raffle if you reach a certain amount. And I entered in with hundreds of women from all around the world, because so many amazing Jewish women who raise money for RCCS. RCCS is a cancer organization. No one should ever need it. But for those that do, they help you with everything. And they're like, congratulations, you won a diamond heart. I said, what? Turns out I did. And here it is. And I decided I'm going to wear it whenever I can, every day, to remind me it's my mitzvah necklace. And it's also, I got a little heart, a little hug from upstairs from God to say thank you for doing something that I didn't want to do. And it was just a reminder. And now when something comes up, I try to get it done. If I can, I won't let something pass.
That's really, really special, because it's a gorgeous necklace, and it's so special.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It's a great reminder that if a mitzvah opportunity comes our way, if at all possible, we should seize it. We should grab as many mitzvah opportunities as we can, because they do make a difference. Each and every mitzvah makes a difference.
So on what you're saying, just going to add to that, a new mom, I once reached out to her. Is there anything I can get you? And she had a very strict diet. So she was like a smoothie. I said, great. I meet my friend's father and I'm like, oh, I'm on my way to bring a new mother or something. He goes, don't walk to do the mitzvah. You run for the mitzvah. And it was such a learning experience. I'm like, all right, I'm running. Sorry, gotta go. And yeah.
That's beautiful. And it's so funny that you mentioned this, because just today I was reading something somewhere, and it said, God says what's going to happen. God is the one who decides what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, to whom it's going to happen. And if you had the mitzvah opportunity to do something like bringing a smoothie to your friend, if you had chosen not to do that mitzvah, and if God really wanted that mitzvah to happen, he would have chosen somebody else to do it anyway. But he chose you first. And that's a very, very special thing, because if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it. So you might as well get the mitzvah points. You might as well be the one who's going to be the helper, that person who shines the light in the world. I think it's so beautiful what you do, really.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have another great story.
Please.
If you want to hear.
Yes.
It was actually, I guess it was my lucky time, but I won something in an auction. I won a wig. And I was so excited. So I picked up the wig, brought it home, and I already had 2 wigs. And probably a couple of days later, I meet someone and she's telling me how her friend is going to sell her used wig. And something really bothered me about that she's going to go buy someone's used wig. So I went home, and before I do something, I like to sleep on it. I don't like to jump on it. I like to really think it's through, that I'm really happy with what I'm doing. And I decided I'm going to give her my wig. So I called her up and I said, hey, go to a local store and try on a medium cap wig, see if it fits you. If it does, I have something great for you. I didn't tell her about it. And she did. And she goes, it fits. So I called her up. I said, I'm giving you a wig that I just won. I already have 2 beautiful wigs. I don't need another one right now. And it will be my honor and pleasure to give it to you. And she was crying. How could I thank you? I said, you don't have to thank me. Just pay it forward one day to someone else. Pay it forward. Sure enough, a couple of months later, I'm invited to her son's bar mitzvah. And I'm like, you look beautiful. And she goes, it's the wig that you gave me. And she's going on and on. I'm like, don't mention it. But it was just such a beautiful feeling for me that I got to see how someone was enjoying something. I didn't have to give it, and I'm so happy that I did, because she's someone that wouldn't have had that opportunity. Everyone should have new things. And I won it for a reason. I didn't really need it. And I felt very blessed that I had the opportunity to share it with her.
That's so beautiful. And she was so, so grateful. And it's just so special when you do something for somebody else and they receive it, because they're receiving not just the wig or not just the smoothie or the dinner. They're also receiving love and attention and comfort, and sometimes
she really needed that little hug. She needed that in her life. She doesn't have it so easy. And I was like, wow, I got the opportunity to be the reason someone smiles today.
Exactly. And so, so beautifully said. Thank you. Thank you. I know that you have a very special story about an Uber driver.
Yes, I have a couple of Uber driver stories, but I'll share this one today.
Okay.
Okay, so I was in Borough Park and I was leaving an appointment, and I get into this Uber driver. He wasn't Jewish, African American, and I hear Hasidic melodies playing, which is called a niggin. And I said, "Am I dreaming? I think I'm dreaming." So a couple of minutes passed and it's still playing, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm really not dreaming." So I whip out my phone and I start videoing the conversation, and I said, "What are you listening to?" And he takes out a picture, and I was very shocked, and I said, "That's my rabbi." And he goes, "Our rabbi." It was the Lubavitcher Rebbe.
Wow.
And he went on to tell me, I asked him, how did you know about him? Like, how did you know, like, to go to him? And he told me the details, and he told me the following. He said, "Every single time I go to his resting place, it's in Queens, and I ask for anything, I get answered. He gives it to me."
Wow.
And I was blown away. And I'm like, "All right, what's the message here? Chaya, you need to go back to the Ohel. You need to connect more to your rabbi who you weren't going to so often." So I was very overwhelmed by this experience. And then he started telling me how Jewish music is the way to go. It's pure. And he said that and classical music. And if it's okay, I would love to share the video with you. But
Please.
before I do, he was very interested in spreading more light into the world. And it was a very like beautiful moment. And I had a thought again. And I said, I want to buy you something. And I gave him some money. I said, because I don't know his address, I said, "Please order a book," because he was very into the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe. And I said, "Please order this book, Rebbe by Talishkin." It's a top seller on Amazon. A couple of weeks later, he sent me a message. He goes, "I got the book," and he sent me a picture of it. And it was just so cool. It was like, who am I? Like, I just had this thought. I could have not have done that. And I've never spoken to him again, but we don't know where he went with this. But he learned more about, I'm going to say, our rabbi, because the Lubavitcher Rebbe was so good to not only the Jewish nation, but also to the non-Jews. They used to come for blessings, and he was the busiest man. And if anyone didn't ever hear about him, you should Google him, because he's a very, very big tzaddik. And I would love everyone to reap the benefits of being connected to him. And on my Torah Zoom class weekly, we have someone share a personal Rebbe story that happened to them. It's from every walk of life, and then we share a video. So this video was actually shared on my Torah class. So give me a moment. I'm going to pull it up.
Great. What are you listening to?
Music.
So nice. No, I love it. You know who plays it?
See my picture?
Oh my god, that's my Rebbe. Wait.
Our
Rebbe. Wait, hold on. I'm putting this. This is crazy. Oh my goodness. Could you look here for a minute?
Sure.
Can you tell me how you know? It's our Rebbe. How you know him? I grew up on the block that he.
Okay, so what happened? I met a guy, and then I asked him about like going to synagogue. He said that, "Why you wanna go over there?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" "I wanna hear the word of God." And he said that God is not for you. I'm like, "What?" Then I met a lady.
So that's what happened. True story. And not only that, that video went viral around the world. Not that year, because I felt like that there was a message there for myself from the Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that I should come to him if I have anything. Like, we're so busy, like looking on the neck, like, opening up books, going to gurus. But sometimes we have the answers within, and we have to connect to our source. And that is, my childhood. um and I went to the Ohel and I connected. And when you connect to a tzaddik and when you connect to God, they connect back to you. I saw that in so many ways. It's unbelievable. We just have to open up our eyes. And it was just so inspiring for me. And a year later, it went viral that someone actually took the video, put subtitles on it, different subtitles. And my aunt from England said, I think that's your voice. Is it your video? And I said, yeah, it's actually me. And I couldn't believe how far it went. And it just shows that our actions have a reaction. And we can, we don't get to choose what happens to us, but we get to choose how we react. And we also get to choose like our choice where we're gonna like give our money for tzedakah and which mitzvahs we're gonna do. And we never know how we could change the world. One person can change the world. I mean, I really believe it. And if we all did one more thing to be the reason someone smiles today, the world would be a better place. And hopefully so soon we'll benefit to have Mashiach with us, because we all need him so badly.
Amen. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much, Haya, for joining us on America's Top Rebbetzins. We really, really enjoyed your stories of inspiration, and we learned so much. And we hope that the learning we did today will be for the Refuah Shalema, for Yaakov David Nesanel ben Sarah Hannah, and also for Rivka bat Devora. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you. And if anybody wants to get onto the weekly Torah class, please reach out to, you know where to reach out.
Yeah, I put in all the contact details in the description of the podcast. So if you want to join Haya's Torah classes, please reach out to me. My contact details will be in the podcast description, and I will connect you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me today.